What's up, guys? This is Ray from Philly on this Sunday afternoon, the 16th of October. Got some different backdrop today, the Connie Mack book and the first baseball card magazine from 1981. Last night I told you guys I opened up part of my PSA submission from September 24th Philly show, and it was two boxes. I got the one box that was these three crossovers, and then the other box is this one here that has the other 28 because I submitted 31 cards. Now, first off, I have to say that when I submitted it on the 24th of September, they told me it would take 50 business days. So I'm saying to the guy, what's that, like maybe the November? He goes, no, 50 business days. So you figure you got to count out September, he said, on the 24th, because by the time they get back to California, on that Saturday, they won't get back till Monday. They won't register the cards till Thursday. So you might as well scratch out September, do 20 business days October, 20 in November, 10 in December. So I'm saying, oh, wow, maybe the first week of December. And he laughed. He's like, maybe. Well, I submitted them the 24th of September, and I got them back on Friday, the October 14th. That's only 15 business days. So I'm not complaining. I just can't believe that I got the three over here from the crossover and the 28 all back on Friday, October 14th. So let's get the cracking here. I've already opened the box. There's two boxes like that in here. Okay. Now I made a list like when I submitted the Atlantic City Convention show, National, in August. That was 15 cards that you get for free. Although I only got 14 of the 15 because this Cal Ripken. How you doing, Joe? Because this Cal Ripken came back minimum size requirement, which I'm going to resubmit in December. So I only have 14 submitted. But this time I had 31 submitted. You saw the first three last night over here. And now today I made a list of what I think the cards are going to get, just like I did from the Atlantic City show. So let's get to cracking here. Open up. And these cards are from either my 50 Greatest Sluggers PSA set registry or the 300 Greatest Cards of the 20th Century, that book, set registry, or the Schmidt registry. Now, I know I'm done the Schmidt registry, but there's one card, the 81 Fleer Schmidt, that I bought as a 7 because there was nothing else out there graded. Every one of my Schmidts are 8 and higher except for the 81 Fleer. It's a 7. So I submitted a raw 81 Fleer in hopes that, I can get that back as an 8 or higher. So we'll see. But without further ado, let's open these up. Now, I haven't seen any of these grades. Okay? None of them. I haven't seen any of these grades. And I had them in year order, and I just screwed them up. So, first things first is the 62 Topps Boog Pal that I gave a 6, and it came back a 6. So that's very cool. This is part of the 50 Greatest Sluggers. It's not in the 300 Greatest Cards, but Boog was a big masher in the 60s and 70s. So that'll go cool with that set. Okay, next up was the 69 Topps Ted Williams that I gave a 6, and it came back a 5. The centering on this is a little off, but the corners are sharp. But this is going to go into the 300 Greatest Cards of the 20th Century. And I'm not going to spend the time to read the story for each one of these because it'll take too long. But I think in long story short, that's because it was his first managerial card. Next up, I was taking a sip of soda. I have the 73 Topps Willie Mays. I gave that a 5. And it came back exactly what I expected, a 5. So I'm happy with that. It's part of the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. And so, and that's because that's his last year before he retired. So, all right, we're going to move the Boog Pal out. And next up was the 77 tops Dale Murphy, which I gave an 8. And this is part of the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. And it came back an 8. This is a great card. I bought this raw on eBay. It's crisp. It's very crispy. Great player, Dale Murphy. One of my favorites. As you can see him down here. He's also in a 78 tops, but this is his true rookie. Okay, so let's move Teddy Ballgame out of the way here and get the next one up. Next one is an 81 tops Tim Raines. It's not part of the 300 greatest cards or 50 greatest sluggers. I gave it an 8, and it came back. Hold on a second. It came back a 7. So a little disappointed in that. I'm not too pissed about it because it wasn't part of the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. I just wanted to get it graded because it's a potential Hall of Famer. It's a rookie card, and I like Tim Raines, so I just figured, why not get it graded? It's an excellent card to get graded, and let's go to the next one here. Next one up is the 83 Fleer Tony Gwynn. This is part of the 300 greatest cards. I don't know why I wrote 81 Fleer for Tony Gwynn, but I gave that a 7. And let's move Willie Mays out of the way. And let's see what the Gwynn rookie got. An 8. So that's awesome. So this was above my expectations. I got this from an LCS. So this is great. I'm very happy about this. It's a good grade to get. So far, I'm very pleased with the Dawson. I'm happy with the Gwynn. Next up is the 84 Donruss iconic Don Mattingly card. And I gave that an 8. And this is part of the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. And it came back an 8. So that's awesome. Exactly what I expected. And this is a great... I've had this card from when it first came out. I bought it like in 85. So I've had this card for over 30 years in a screw down. So not bad for picking this card out 31 years ago. But this is part of the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. Let's move Tim Raines out. Make room. I need more holders. All right. And next up I can see is the 85 Fleer Kirby Puckett. It's not part of the 300 greatest cards. His rookie is the 84 Fleer update. That's part of that. But I just wanted to get it graded because I bought it from an LCS. I gave it a 7. And let's see what it came back as. Came back an 8. So that's very cool. So far, everything's above my expectations with the exception of the Tim Raines. But that's okay. So this came back above what I had. So that's cool. Next up is the 85 Donruss. I can see from the back Kirby Puckett. Again, this is not part of the 300 greatest cards, but I figured why not? It would be cool to have. I gave it an 8. Put back on my stand here and see what this came back as. And it came back, a bomb. It came back as 6. And I could see why. The black borders on the top is a little chippy. But that's okay. I just wanted to have this card graded. It's not part of the 300 greatest cards or the 50 greatest sluggers, but I just wanted to have a Hall of Fame rookie like Puckett, graded. So let's put Donnie Ball away. And the next up is the 86 Donruss Fred McGriff. And I gave that Crying Dog guy an 8. And McGriff is a part of the 50 greatest sluggers of the 20th century. He's not in the 300 greatest card. It came back an 8, so that's cool. I gave it an 8, and it came back an 8. So I'm very happy with that. It's a cool card to have. Definitely part of the 50 greatest sluggers. Thrilled. Next up is the 86 Donner Cecil Fielder. Again, another card for the 50 Greatest Sluggers. And I gave the Fielder an 8. And let's see what he came back as. And he came back an 8.5, so that's above my expectations. Um, Great card, centering it. It's very crispy. Nice card. So this is going into the 50 Greatest Sluggers today. I'm going to be busy today with all these cards. 86 Donner Cecil Fielder. Very cool. All right, I'm trying to keep it in order here. Next up is the 86 Donners Jose Canseco, which I gave a 9. I was a little higher on the Canseco. And I've had, it came back in 8. I've had this card from when it first came out too, just like the Don Mattingly. I bought this card in 86. And this is going in the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. And I think he's also in the 50 greatest sluggers, if I'm not mistaken. We'll tuck it away. So you got 3 straight 86 Donners rookies right there. 8, 8.5, and 8. So that's cool. All right. And next up is the 88 score traded Roberto Alomar. This is part of the 300 greatest cards. I gave that a 9. I was higher on this one. I hope I'm right because this looks really good. It's a gem mint 10. Nice. Very thrilled about that. Whenever you get a 10 on anything, awesome card to have. A gem mint 10 on the 88 score traded Roberto Alomar. Oh man. And I thought I was being too high on it, giving it a 9. I thought it would come back in an 8. But no, the Alomar is a 10. That's sweet. Very, very cool. Get rid of this stupid glare. There you go. Awesome. I think I got it set up now where there's not much glare. Very cool. All right, next up is the 89 Donruss Ken Griffey Jr., another card that's part of the 300 greatest cards. I gave the Donruss Griffey a 9, and I got this from an LCS. This is so nerve-wracking. A 9. Okay, so this is what I thought it would be, and this is what it came back as. Not bad for an LCS pickup. Very cool to get this in a mint 9 for another Griffey rookie. So that's fantastic. Again, this is part of the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. All right. Next up is another Griffey, 89 Fleer Griffey. I gave that one a 9. And this is part of the 300 greatest cards of the 20th century. Let's see what it gave it. Bombed a little bit. Came back an 8. That's okay. I'm still thrilled with the grade. It's going in the 300 greatest cards. I can always upgrade this to a 9 later on. But I'm still happy with an 8. It's a great card. So that's cool. Okay, next is the 81 Fleer Schmidt. This is the one that this will literally finish my set. Unless it comes back less than a 7, then I'll be pissed. Because the one I do have is a 7, and I was hoping that this would come back an 8. And I gave it an 8. So, let's see what the 81 Fleer Schmidt came back as. It came back as 6. Alright, I'm stuck with this 7 for now. I can't upgrade my 7 yet. Oh man, that pisses me off. I mean, this card looks... I don't know. I'm looking at it. I mean, I got this from New England Sports on eBay Raw. And he had about 10 of these on there. And I picked this looked to be the best one on there as far as centering goes and everything. They're tough, man. I don't understand why. This is the probably my biggest disappointment one of this submission is this 81 Fleer Schmidt. Because I was really hoping I would get an 8 on that. But come see, come saw, I guess. Next up is a 90 Leaf Frank Thomas. I already had one graded from the Atlantic City Convention, and it came back a 10. And I don't know what I gave this one. The 90 Leaf Thomas. I gave it a 10 again, which I don't know why I did that. I was ballsy there. It's probably an 8 or a 9. And it's an 8. My first one came back at 10. This is an 8. Which is still a pretty good card. Alright, next up is I submitted another 89 Upper Deck Randy Johnson. The last one came back at 10. And the last one came back at 10 because I knew that was better than this one. This is probably a 9. I think I gave it a 9. Yeah, I gave it a 9. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an 8. And it's a 9, so I'm happy with that. It's what I expected. I thought it would be a 9, and it came back a 9. So far, the best is this. That Alomar rookie coming back at Gem in 10. That's just awesome. And last on this box is a Griffey. The first Griffey I submitted came back a 9. And I think it was because of this hologram. This hologram is better. So I think this has a shot at a 10. I really do. But I gave it a 9 according to my list. Yeah, I gave it a 9. Won't be surprised if it's an 8. But this hologram is better. So let's see. A 7. They really pissed me off. This came back much lower than my first Griffey. A near mint 7. Not even an 8. Okay. And the hologram on this is way better than the one that got a 9. The one that got a 9 is like the top corner is almost in half. I don't know why this got a 7. I don't see anything really wrong with it, but whatever. I mean, I already have a 9, so this could be something that I can trade up for later on. So I have the other box here that I need to open. I think I have probably about 7 or 8 more cards to go through. Alright, let's open these bad boys up. And already they got one like this Ripken. I can already see it. They got one in there that they did not grade. And I'm curious to see what that one is. I'm going to save that for last because I really don't want to see that right now. But I could already see it. Actually, they put a couple in here. There's more than one. It looks like there's about 2 in there. So, we'll see. The excitement, the anticipation. Okay. Boy, I can't wait to get to that one there. The first one up I could see is the 91 Bowman Chipper Jones. I gave it a 9. Bought this from an LCS. And it came back a total bomb, a 5. Now you tell me, guys, what do you think is wrong with this? The centering looks 50-50. Looks phenomenal, in my opinion. There's no dings. There's no bad corners. Oh well. Looks like I'll be buying a 91 Bowman Chipper Jones this week. Next up is a 91 Ultra Update Jeff Bagwell. This card is not part of the 300 greatest cards. His 91 Stadium Club is, but I wanted to get this graded. And I think I gave it a 9. So let's see what this came back as. Came back a 9, so I was happy about that. It's what I expected. So far, the Chipper Jones is really ticking me off. And to see what these cards here didn't get graded, I'm curious. Next up is the 91 Ultra Update Pudge Rodriguez. This is not part of the 300 greatest cards. His 91 Bowman is. So I gave this Pudge a 9. I just wanted to get it graded, and it came back in 8.5. So, not bad. Happy with that. I have to speed it up a little bit here because it's getting to be 20 minutes. Next up is the, I think it's the 90